Since 1956, Harvard has finished with 3 teams undefeated and untied in Ivy League play, and all 3 have been coached by Tim Murphy. But as the 2004 season was set to begin, no one could have predicted the Crimson's outstanding success. Only 4 starters returned on offense and 4 on defense. Harvard was picked to finish second in the Ivy League, but this squad exploited opponents with a balanced attack. They proved they could come from behind. They turned Harvard pride into big play after big play.
Today you guys play like champions. Next week you get a chance to be champions. Yeah!
They accepted their coach's challenge and played like champions. Harvard's 131st season opened with a Crimson domination on all sides of the ball. Coming off an amazing freshman season, sophomore Clifton Dawson banged, bent, and busted a Holy Cross defense that could not contain him. The burner from Scarborough, Ontario, ran for 184 yards, scored 3 touchdowns, and was named Ivy League Offensive Player of the Week.
He is gone. Clifton Dawson is going to take it to the house from 74 yards.
On defense, the Crimson forced 5 turnovers, including a pair of picks by senior Ricky Williamson out of State College, Pennsylvania. And on special teams, just watch senior Brian Edwards.
Edwards takes it at the 15-yard line. 20, 25, watch out, watch out. Edwards going down the sideline to the 40, and they will not get him. This will be an 85-yard return for a touchdown by Brian Edwards.
The 35-0 victory over Holy Cross was Harvard's first shutout since 1987, but it would not be the last. Good teams find ways to win, even when it looks desperate. Against Brown, the Crimson fell behind by 21 points at halftime, but this team would not allow itself to get discouraged. They rallied around their coaching staff, fought through adversity, and stunned Brown with 25 unanswered points.
Here's Fitzpatrick, the fade pass, far side, it's caught, Mazza touchdown! 35 yards, a perfectly led ball. Dawson, the lone setback, gets the handoff from Fitzpatrick, that burst of speed right through the defense, still on his feet to the 40, to the 30-yard line as one player back, Dawson scores!
After a 2-point conversion put Harvard within 3 of Brown, the Crimson drove for the winning touchdown.
A 2nd down and 7. Fitzpatrick out of the shotgun, keeps it himself inside the 30 to the 25. And Ryan Fitzpatrick showing you that mobility.
Dawson's 3rd score of the day capped the incredible comeback. As they entered the locker room, Harvard players savored the gritty victory. For the coaching staff and the squad, the 35-34 win over Brown reflected not so much Harvard's strategy as it did Harvard character.
It was all about the defense. There was a proverbial gut check time. Our guys played as hard as they possibly could play. They finally tackled the football, and we won because of our defense in the second half.
Big plays by both the defense and the offense keyed Harvard's 3rd straight win of the season. Senior linebacker Sean Tracy of Winchester, Ohio, picked off 2 Lafayette aerials to go with his 14 tackles, winning Ivy League Defensive Player of the Week honors. Continuing the spectacular start to his sophomore season, Clifton Dawson scored 3 touchdowns for the 3rd straight game and plundered Lafayette's defense for 172 yards. Showing that the offense was far from one-dimensional, quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick from Gilbert, Arizona, threw for more than 200 yards, including a 61-yard bomb to speedy Corey Mazza from Thousand Oaks, California. The game's third Lafayette turnover was caused by junior linebacker Matt Thomas. The Crimson remained unbeaten with a 38-23 triumph. After scouting Harvard's season-opening 3 wins, Cornell decided they would not be beaten by the Crimson ground game. They would key on Clifton Dawson. No problem. Senior Ryan Fitzpatrick showed why he is the top quarterback in the Ivy League and an NFL prospect, throwing for 317 yards and a pair of touchdowns. He also made 6, count them, 6 Cornell defenders miss on a scoring run. Fitzpatrick picked up big play help from senior Brian Edwards of Los Gatos, California, who caught 3 passes, threw a touchdown pass, and returned a kickoff 92 yards for another score. Edwards, whose speed and versatility make him one of the most dangerous threats in Ivy League play, was honored as League's Special Teams Player of the Week. Win number 4 came at the expense of Cornell, 34-24.
We have a beautiful view of downtown Boston from Harvard Stadium, and we have a crosstown rivalry today as the Northeastern Huskies cross the river to meet the Crimson of Harvard. We've got a couple of division leaders here. Harvard at 4-0 is on top of the Ivy League, while Northeastern at 3-2 is on top of the Atlantic 10 North Division.
Against Northeastern, it was both the laser shots thrown by Fitzpatrick and the stop-me-if-you-can running of Dawson that scorched the visitors. Harvard's multi-talented quarterback found tight end Adam Jenkins of Burlington, Massachusetts for 1 score, and then hit Edwards with a fade pass for another.
Lob into the end zone. It's caught by Edwards. It's a touchdown, Harvard.
For the record, Harvard clinched its 106th non-losing season in 131 years of collegiate football. Northeastern was toppled 41-14. The Crimson was now 5-0. Records fell as Princeton fell on a sunny Saturday in October. Dawson, the cat-quick blur of Crimson who totally frustrates opponents, set Harvard records for single-season touchdowns and rushing touchdowns. He found the end zone 3 times against the Tigers. Dawson's record book performance was made possible by an offensive line of senior tackles Mike Fry and Brian Lapham, senior guard Joe Koczynski, and junior guard Will Johnson, along with sophomore center Frank Fernandez. After having played only 15 games, Dawson had passed the 2,000-yard career rushing mark, and in 2 seasons had blasted rival Princeton for 6 touchdowns. In this battle of ancient 8 opponents, Harvard's defense posted a roadblock in front of their end zone for the final 3 periods. Freshman defensive back Doug Hewlett of Wellington, Florida, picked off one of 3 Crimson interceptions and was named Ivy Rookie of the Week. Junior linebacker Matt Thomas of Silver Springs, Maryland, registered 12 tackles and 2 sacks, earning Ivy League Defensive Player of the Week honors. With a 39-14 victory, Tim Murphy's teams have now won 9 in a row over Princeton and increased their current season mark to 6-0.
Go now, baby! Let's do it tonight! Let's go, man.
Every team has a game during a season when they have to dig for that something extra, when very little seems to go right, and they have to turn to guts and pride to be victorious. Dartmouth tried hard to shut down much of Harvard's attack, but the senior leadership of All-America candidate Fitzpatrick kept the ship on course and helped prevent an upset. Fitzpatrick threw for 300 yards and his team's only touchdown to Brian Edwards. The eventual difference in the struggle were 2 field goals by freshman Matt Schindel. The winner, a career-long 39-yard kick in the final period. Harvard had overcome that often unforeseen bump in the road. Dartmouth was victim number 7, 13-12.
If you guys say, play like champions!
In most games, the headlines go to the offense, and there were scoring headlines written in Harvard's win over Columbia. But for the second game this season, the 7th under Tim Murphy, the defense held an opponent without a point. The Lions were limited to just 51 yards on the ground and were 0 for 13 in third down conversions. Clifton Dawson did enter the record book again. His first period touchdown gave him 96 points on the season, breaking the old record that was set back in 1912. The passing game was also clicking. Junior tight end Jason O'Neill of Oakton, Virginia, caught a pair of Fitzpatrick scoring tosses. And Brian Edwards broke a punt return 81 yards, the 4th longest in Harvard history. Coach Murphy took particular pride in his team's balanced effort. He praised his players for their offensive output, their defensive shutouts, and their special teams heroics.
1, 2, 3. 10,000 men of Harvard gained victory today. For the honor Lions, bear Harvard will sway. So we conquer all linesmen. When the game ends, we'll sing again. 10,000 men of Harvard gained victory today. Illegitimate non-coverandum, dominate salvo five. Illegitimate non-coverandum, dominate salvo five. Gadiamo sing so. Veritas non sequitur. Illegitimate non-coverandum, ipso facto. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
The 38-0 win over Columbia set up a big-time showdown just 1 week away.
We are a team. You guys can do anything you put your mind to, and we're going to beat Penn. Some rivalries are destined to be classic. For the 4th consecutive year, the winner of Harvard-Penn would wear a much-coveted crown. Both teams were undefeated in league competition. It was the marquee matchup in Division I AA football. The high-powered Crimson attack took command early and never looked back. Fitzpatrick guided his team on a 73-yard drive in the opening period that ended with the game's first touchdown.
You can see the Penn defensive backs right up on the line of scrimmage. Fitzpatrick is hit as he throws again, but Edwards is wide open. It's a touchdown, Harvard. Fitzpatrick to Brian Edwards. He had his defender beat by 5 yards.
During the next 20 offensive plays by Penn, the Quakers could muster only 2 first downs, never crossed the Harvard 30, and had to punt 4 times. Senior Gary Sonker added to the home team's misery with a clutch interception. On the heels of a short Clifton Dawson TD, Harvard led at the half 14-3. As the third period began with the championship now in sight, the combo of Fitzpatrick and Mazza got together on a thriller that would go down as one of the most exciting plays of the season.
Third down, here's Fitzpatrick. Great protection as he's looking downfield with nobody open. Under pressure, now fires one deep down the middle. Mazza's wide open, he's got it. It's a touchdown, Harvard. Corey Mazza in the end zone. Touchdown, Crimson.
Well, you can't blame the secondary of Penn because you got to get to the quarterback. Great job in the secondary, but then Fitzpatrick rolling to his left, buying time, just heaves it right down the middle of the field to a wide open Mazza who snuck free.
21-3 Harvard. Later in the period, Matt Schindel tied the Crimson record with his 13th field goal of the season. 24-3 Harvard. Then, moments later, Schindel was about to break the record. Or was he?
Uh-oh, here's a fake. Alcama going to throw to the outside. This one is complete. And Harvard is into the end zone. It's a touchdown for the Crimson. Bobby Everett, the linebacker, making the touchdown catch.
Coach Murphy said later, when you're in a championship game, you have to be bold and aggressive. Harvard was, and it worked. Credit goes also to defenders like Matt Thomas, Bobby Everett, Gary Sonker, and Keith Howell, who kept Penn out of the end zone until the final 2.5 minutes of the game. With the 31-10 victory, Harvard clinched its 11th Ivy League title, their third under Murphy.
This was our goal from the start. I'm so proud of our kids and our staff. Bottom line is our kids went out and played and made plays.
With their 9th consecutive victory of the season, Harvard had overtaken Penn as the team. Now all that remained was the game. Historic Harvard Stadium, a sellout crowd. The 121st meeting of Harvard and Yale. And only a victory in this ancient rivalry stands between the Crimson and the school's 7th perfect season. And as throughout the entire schedule, team balance made a quick and dramatic difference. In the opening period, the Crimson took off on a 50-yard drive, climaxed by Clifton Dawson's school record 17th rushing touchdown. 7-0 Harvard. Now it was time for special teams to bring the fans to their feet. For the third time in 2004, Brian Edwards fielded a punt and did not stop until he took it all the way to the house. The 53-yard return gave Harvard a 14-0 advantage. If you thought that was an exciting return, stick around. With Yale looking to climb back into the game, a bulldog pass found the Harvard end zone and found the opportunistic grasp of the Crimson's Ricky Williamson. The 100-yard return was the longest play, offense or defense, in the history of the Harvard-Yale Classic, and helped Williamson win Ivy and National Defensive Player of the Week honors. The bite was quickly being taken out of the Bulldogs, 21-0 Harvard. The Crimson then found a fourth way to put points on the board as Ryan Fitzpatrick fired a 27-yard aerial to Edwards. Harvard had scored on a run from scrimmage, a punt return, an interception return, and now a pass. Yale was simply confused, wondering what's next. When Fitzpatrick powered into the end zone, it marked the 9th time in 10 games the Crimson had scored 30 or more points. On defense, Harvard had now limited each of its final 6 opponents to 14 points or less. With a 35-3 triumph, the Crimson had 4 straight wins over Yale. The first time that has happened since 1922. The victory in the game gave Harvard a spectacular 10-0 season, ranking them with the all-time great teams in Ivy League history, and the only undefeated team in 1AA football in 2004. Harvard's senior class completed a remarkable 4-year run that included 2 perfect seasons and 2 outright Ivy League championships. Their 4-year record of 33 wins and only 6 setbacks was the best since the early 1900s. Senior Brian Fitzpatrick leaves Harvard as their all-time leader in total offense, with more than 6,700 yards. The team's quintessential leader, he was named Ivy League Player of the Year for 2004 and was invited by NFL scouts to play in the East-West Shrine Game and in the Hula Bowl. Senior Brian Edwards' ability to catch, throw, and return kicks, all for touchdowns, won him first-team All-Ivy. Senior linebacker Bobby Everett repeated as first-team All-Ivy and was joined by offensive linemen Brian Lapham and Will Johnson, along with defensive back Sean Tracy. Sophomore Clifton Dawson became Harvard's all-time single-season rusher and scorer, and led the league in both categories. He was an unanimous All-Ivy choice. Freshman kicker Matt Schindel became the Crimson's 8th player to gain first-team All-Ivy honors. Sure, there were many outstanding players on this Harvard squad, but the perfect season of 2004 will long be remembered for a group of young men and a talented coaching staff who blended their skills as one. Their success was a total team effort. They followed the words of their coach. They played as champions. They won as champions.